Welcome back to the Binging and Bickering podcast presented by Character Theory. My name is Danny Stewart, and seated to my left, this fine, handsome gentleman wearing the Martin Scorsese shirt, long sleeve. I enjoy that the weather's getting colder, so long sleeves are more acceptable. I can't wait for jean season, even though there might not be football. Is Mike Stuglis.
That's right.
How are you this week?
I'm fine. I
Uh,
feel like if I wore this outside, I might have been a little toasty.
Nah, it's a little breezy. Like it says it's like low 70s, but like I was a little surprised. Like I've been wearing like hoodies and stuff on my outside runs like all summer, and normally I was just like, it's hot as shit, like I'm going to wear a hoodie like to sweat more and attempt to lose more weight. Um that's
The
where
bag of chips after definitely doesn't help.
well, I don't eat bags of chips after.
There was one day over the summer, right? We're literally talking about the weather right now.
Yeah, but it's starting to get colder, I guess, which more time to watch TV, more time to watch movies, perfect time to listen
Good
to the
transition.
Binging and Bickering podcast, where this week you want to intro?
Yeah, so this week we're going to focus on television. We're going to switch our gears a little bit and we're creating our own gangster dream teams, as you guys will see on the board here. So we have five categories. I think you could break a crew down into
Yes.
five parts.
Mhm.
You got your boss, you got your right hand man, your consigliere, whatever you want to call it, your muscle, your earner, the guy who makes money. Like I came up with the list and I'm looking at the fucking board right now.
Yeah,
Like can't remember
that's
it.
all right.
And then the wild card. The that could be a protege, someone who flies off the wheel, like that unpredictable character that usually gets capped in a couple seasons,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Or just there's always somebody who doesn't feel like they fit the role they're in and goes and flies off the handle and does things that benefits the gang, the family, the group, whatever, and sometimes they fuck over the
Or
gang, the
or
family, the
they're like a
group.
good guy morally and they go against the game and like a Jesse
Right.
Pinkman would fall into that
Right. So
category.
it's just, and you can make an argument for anybody. So today you're going to hear our lists of our, 5 dream team gangster members. And then, of course, at the end, we'll ask you to do this again, but let us know your 5 gangster dream teams in the comments of this show, because now we're live on everything. You can rate, subscribe, and do all those things on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get there later. Let's jump right into it. Our gangster dream teams. Who is your boss?
I feel like there's so many honorable mentions that I
Right.
felt the need to do. So, first off, Tony Soprano, 100% my favorite TV character ever. But if I'm organizing my like dream team boss, I want someone who can work with everybody, isn't impulsive, won't eat themselves to death. So, in terms of like structuring an empire, Tony's not my number one draft
Okay.
pick. I'm going with Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders, who, along with having PTSD, just can get shit done. I mean, I think that's the best way to
Without a doubt.
fucking
Yeah.
sum up Tommy. Is he's an ex-soldier, so he can fight. He's a businessman at heart. He created his own company. He became a politician. He's very savvy, and he can work with everybody. He doesn't discriminate like Tony.
Well, up until and spoiler alert for the most recent season of Peaky Blinders, but it's been out since October. Up until like this most recent season, like Tommy's always kind of come out on top. You could make the argument for maybe not at the end of season 2, where like he almost got capped, but like
But he will.
yeah, Tommy always seems to be one step ahead of everybody else. He always seems to outthink it. Like there's always this scene where like Tommy has to explain to somebody else what happened, why it happened, and why he was the reason why it happened. And And I love that about his character because he's always just got the right idea, the right mind of thinking, but maybe that changes just so that
I,
maybe
yeah.
maybe the show just becomes a little bit more unpredictable, which I would appreciate as well. But Tommy's still just an incredibly written character, an incredibly acted character by Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, I think that my favorite quote in Peaky Blinders to me that sums up Tommy and the show is when he's talking to Grace and he says everyone's a whore, we just sell different parts of ourselves. Like I love that. That tells you like who he is. He doesn't care what you do as long as you can help, you know, him out, I guess. I don't know. He's a great character.
Benefit the family,
Yeah, benefit the family. And your crew is going to be the best dressed with him at the head.
without a doubt. I mean,
And I had a couple other on here. I had Al Swearingen from Deadwood, probably the best cusser of all time. Gus Fring from Breaking
oh
Bad.
yeah,
He was my number 2. The only reason I didn't go with Gus was because he's not personable like Tommy is. He's
right,
all business.
yeah, and pretty cutthroat.
Wait, he kills Victor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Razor blade there.
Mm.
Wilson Fisk, Mags Bennett from Justified, grows weed. Great character also, the matriarch, and Jax Teller from Sons. Those are like who I had
Okay.
in my stratosphere, but Tommy was a pretty easy pick for that one.
Tommy was probably my only like honorable mention. I didn't want to overthink it because my number one, my boss, is Tony Soprano. I mean, like I couldn't not.
I felt a little guilty.
I went right into The Sopranos. I only just started and finished the show within the last year, and oh my god, what a show! I went into it like watching that show. Like, there's no way that this show is going to be better than Breaking Bad because to that point in time, I didn't think that there was any better television show ever from start to finish than Breaking Bad. Sopranos is the greatest television show of all time, and the reason why I mean there's so many reasons why. Just the ensemble cast in that show is incredible, but the glue that holds it together is James Gandolfini as Tony Soprano, and his mix between you know his fatherhood as well as his business smarts and just his tough guy attitude. Like Tony, similar to Tommy, is always on top of things, and it may take like his family, at least in the show, to get to where he always comes out on top in these situations. um but like Tony always seems to get his way. The business always goes on, and Tony's always at the helm of it. And I mean, he is the ideal
Yeah.
mob boss in the modern world, in the modern sense.
Right, and the amount of times that he comes close to getting caught but gets out of
Right.
it, and then additionally, he is a boss of New Jersey, and the New York mob was always like, "Oh, New Jersey's just a glorified crew." Well, by the end of the show, he rises above the New
Yeah.
York mob, and that's he can't be counted out. He always gets made fun of because he's overweight and he speaks funny, but like he's the man.
No, he's the best.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I fully understand. I had to mention him because I assumed
It's
you were going
Tony
to pick him
Sopra yeah, it's
also.
Tony
That went into
Soprano,
it.
like, come on. Like, Tony Soprano is, like, the mob boss, to me, and there was no other choice for me.
So who's your right hand man?
So my right-hand man so this is where my list gets a little weird. This is where, like, I'm not going strictly based on, like, gangster TV shows or anything like this. This is somebody who I would pick as a right-hand man who I think is, like, the right-hand man who will always get the job done for the boss. And that's Mr. Smithers from Simpsons. I fucking love Smithers from Simpsons. Just he has a funny voice and he talks like this. But also just like, dude, like so the story of like the Simpsons goes is like his dad like worked for like Mr. Burns like company, like the power plant or whatever, and like he was like almost like born into this life of like servitude for like Burns. And he's the best at it, dude. Like it's so much so that like for the longest time people like were like, "Oh, Smithers is like gay for Burns." And then in like a 2016 episode of The Simpsons, they made him gay and like he came out as gay and like but he's always like got Burns' shit down. Like he just knows, like he's the perfect right hand man. He's always by Burns' side, and he'll not like to him like Burns can do no wrong, and that is the perfect right hand man.
In my game of Clue that we have, which is Simpson themed,
Yeah,
Smithers is dressed as like a female butler in it,
yeah.
and it's really funny because
Probably a
it
tag
plays on the gay
as the
thing.
gay thing. Yeah, but he's
Didn't
to
see that coming,
yeah to me
but
he's the perfect right hand man.
I could see. I can't. No, rather. I would be interested to see the blending of live action and animation,
Yeah, like Mr. Smithers.
or Tony in
Mr. Smith,
Simpsons
Tony and the
format.
Simpsons would probably, be like funny, but like I like Mr. Smithers like working for like Tony, minus all of like the homophobic slurs possibly from Tony to Smithers. Like I think like Tony would appreciate Smithers' work. I
Interesting,
think
especially with what
I
happened to Vito. Very
right.
interesting.
Well, Vito tried to hide it. Smithers is just, doing his job. Like Smithers almost doesn't have time to be a gay guy because he's just getting his shit done all the time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Smithers.
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 Mhm.
This was probably the easiest one for me. I went with Mike Ehrmantraut
Mm.
from Breaking Bad. I mean, he is the ultimate fixer, the ultimate badass. He just goes about his business. I think the scene that sums up Mike is, do you remember when when he's picking up all the drops
Yeah.
with Jesse and he doesn't talk the entire day?
Yeah.
And he just that to me is where I'm like, that's why I want Mike. He's not gonna bitch. He's not gonna
He's not
create.
gonna open his mouth.
Yeah,
No.
he's not gonna create aggravation in the ranks or anything like that. I had to go with Mike. I thought of Silvio
Silvio is gonna be
and
my
Polly Gray as well from Peaky. Those were the two that I thought of, but Mike was an easy pick on this.
Silvio was my like honorable mention for this one. Like I had like more honorable mentions for like other categories than I did the boss. But I was gonna do Silvio or I was actually gonna do Michael Gray, but I was like, wait, Michael Gray's like story might end up being like no, like he's not like a good right hand man almost. And then Silvio is like but I didn't want to start off my list with two Sopranos characters. So like I wanted to switch it up and I feel like Smithers was a good switch up and Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah,
It's the best. Jonathan Banks.
Jonathan Banks
Jonathan
fucking
Banks.
kills it.
Yeah.
I love that an actor went most of his career with kind of doing more like supporting character roles, like really lesser known,
Mhm.
and then he hits his 60s and fucking takes off, and he's been nominated for like a million Emmys since he's been doing this character in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It happens. I'm happy for him.
Awesome.
He's
I
an
guess I'll
avid
keep
reader as
I
well.
guess I'll keep the ball rolling. He is. That's right.
Mhm.
The Muscle. I went with. You ever heard me talk about the show Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Taylor Sheridan show. Well, there's a character in it played by Cole Hauser named Rip Wheeler, and he is the ultimate like man's man cowboy. He kicks the shit out of everybody, and similar to Mike, he does not complain. He is as loyal as they come. Everything out of his mouth can be fucking written down for like all-time one-liners and shit like that. Like there's this one scene this past season where he says to a guy where he like beats the shit out of him with like a brand for a horse, and he says, "You leave now or you never leave." And it's just like he's that guy. He's a man's man. He's very macho. And like I said, loyal, and he kind of has the heart of a poet. He's a big softy around the people he loves. So
Those are the best kinds
on
of
his
characters.
fierce loyalty, I think you need that with the Muscle.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going with Cole Hauser's Rip Wheeler from Yellowstone. Oh, who else? Did I mention anyone else? Nah, keep going.
My muscle is Arthur Shelby. I'm gonna get my Peaky Blinders character out of the way. Arthur Shelby he's the definition of a family man. Like I mean, obviously, like Tommy does everything to lead and benefit the family, but like so I think Arthur almost like appreciates the family aspect of the Shelby like limited corporation, whatever, more so than Tommy does. I think Arthur like protects like the family. Like he literally is like the protector. He's the big brother. You know, he puts himself in.
He's the
He
guard
he
dog.
he puts
Yeah.
himself into these situations where he has to be the guard dog. He has to protect his brothers. He has to like actually start fights and be a tough guy because that's his role. I mean, he's not the brains of the operation. He knows that. He knows he's the muscle, but he also knows that he's very valuable to the family and to all everything that's going on. And like Arthur's like the perfect image of like an older brother as well as a muscle for a gang group. And to me, there was nobody else other than Arthur Shelby.
I think Tony would have a similar relationship to Arthur that he does with Chris,
Right.
where he's almost protective of him
Hmm.
because he realizes how capable he is.
Right. And
I think
uses
they
him
work well together.
accordingly. Yeah, without a doubt.
I like. I mean, Arthur. Yeah, I figured he'd appear on here somewhere, and that walk he has,
Oh,
that big dick walk.
swagger.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My earners, earners,
Earner,
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 earners,
earner.
earners. Because like I feel like they're one. I feel like they're one. And here goes my Breaking Bad characters: Badger and Skinny Pete. My my earners are Badger and Skinny Pete
Give me
because
the birds.
nah, they Badger and Skinny Pete like they know all like the the back alley shit of Albuquerque, man. Like there is no Heisenberg without Badger and Skinny Pete. Whenever they make their appearances in the Breaking Bad show, like, obviously they're kind of like comedic relief because they're dumb like stoners and they're idiots, but they are so loyal to not only Jesse but also Walt.
Loyalty's
A-
a big thing.
And loyalty's a huge thing, and they always collect and they're never short. They always say yes. They're always willing to do it. They had probably the best like cameo appearance in like the El Camino
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Like they were like probably the best part of that Jesse Pinkman movie, and like it's because of their like loyalty as well as their willingness to do the job. Like they were so ready to just always do the job, even when it's like the finale of Breaking Bad, like where they're holding laser pointers through the window for a fucking like fucking I don't know, like Walt at that point was exposed to the world. Everybody knew who he was. He was
Yeah.
this drug kingpin, and they were still willing to work for him and hold laser pointers through the window, pretending to be like expert snipers. Like I love Badger and Skinny Pete. I think they're underrated characters as it is, but they're definitely my earners in my gang.
Your show is setting up to be way funnier than mine.
Probably,
Or
yeah.
way more funny.
Funny is a word.
Either way.
Yeah. I've got Smithers and Badger and Skinny Pete. Arthur's always cracking a joke, and Tony's funny when he's not supposed to be, as well as like when he like is trying to be.
Yeah, you guys would have a good clubhouse
Yeah.
for sure. My earner is Idris Elba's Stringer Bell from The Wire.
A more
Of the
like
Barksdale crew.
legitimate choice as like an earner.
This fucking guy is so good on the streets at selling because he went to school and took economics classes to learn how to do it. That's how committed this guy is to the drug
While
game.
he was running the streets too.
While he was running the
like
streets with Avon Barksdale.
there was some like
Yeah.
community college like teacher that had like a fucking like drug lord emperor like in his or her class. Like that's like wild.
Yeah, he's an awesome character. Once again, I'm keeping this vibe of these very stoic characters, no bullshit. Stringer gets well, no, spoiler alert. Show's been out. Stringer gets capped because he wants to go more business-like, and Avon's like, "These are my fucking corners." Like that's why it happens because he's like too smart for his own good. I like
Right.
characters like that.
Yeah, and it's like you think that you're smarter than everybody, and in Stringer's case, he is. But Baltimore gets him.
Yeah, yeah. So great character. I think I had a couple honorable mentions for that one. Oh, Ralph Cifaretto Amazing earner, psychopath, rules him out. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know when he's gonna bash a hooker's head against a median. Can't
Or
have that.
or if he wants like candlestick shoved up his ass.
Yeah, his S&M shit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't want that. And then the other one was the birds. You know, the birds are great at laundering money, but
Yeah.
I went with Stringer. That's my guy.
Great choice.
Love Idris Elba.
Yeah.
I started Luther the other day. That show.
Yeah.
That good
The
show.
BBC, right?
Good show. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move
Only
on.
heard good things.
Yeah. Wild card. So, I got like choosy with this one because I expect the wild card to be the one that like stirs some shit up. So I want to like limit how bad that's gonna get. Are they gonna go for the top spot or are they just gonna cause a little chaos on the ground? So I thought of doing Jesse, but never trust a junkie. That's a rule in crime. And then the other one I thought of was Walton Goggins as Boyd Crowder in Justified. But again, he'd be one to fucking go and kill the boss and just take it for him. I don't
Right.
need that shit. I
No.
don't need Tommy getting whacked. I went with Mike Milligan from season 2 of Fargo. He walks around with the two Kitchen brothers, and all he does is fucking kill anyone he's told to. And at one point, he off someone so he can move up in the ranks a little bit, but he's not gunning for the top spot.
Right.
He's ambitious to move up, but he's not going to take on the top brass. So, if you're going to take out like a capo or something like that to move up, I got no beef with that. As long as he's going to get shit done and be intimidating. He quotes Shakespeare and fucking throws out poems while he's killing people. I'm all in.
And he plays his role. You want a role player, you need a solid role player and someone who's like going to be loyal to like the higher ups but just kind of do his own thing without necessarily affecting the business. Then that's a good wild card.
He goes. He also fits that fashion mold. He wears a fucking bolo tie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. He has a Derringer pistol, one of those that
Those
slip
are
out of your hands.
those are so cool.
Yeah.
Like anybody
so,
with a Derringer is cool.
Yeah. So that's my crew. I'm happy
That's
with
a
it.
very solid crew. You
Cutthroats and earners.
you do kind of keep up with a very like stoic kind of nature. You guys are you got some cool cats over there. Now I'm going to mention my honorable mention before I actually give my wild card. My honorable mention was Braun from Game of Thrones because he does embody that kind of wild card character in terms of Game of Thrones. He does show loyalty and he does show bravery in a lot of cases, but he's in it for money and sex a lot of the time, and he can get both of those things, in that style of life. But
He'll get unmotivated.
right, as long as he gets his castle and his gold, he's good. So as long as you keep him happy, he'll keep you happy, and he's an ideal wild card. But I'm gonna stretch the use of the word gang to go with the only wild card I could think of is the wild card, Charlie Kelly.
Yeah, I assumed.
And to just keep up with my not so gangly gang, Charlie Kelly is the wild card, and from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And my explanation for Braun would just like fit so much better, but I go with Charlie because like he benefits the gang. He can fuck the gang, but at the end of the day, he gets all the Charlie work done. All the dirty shit. Charlie can do the icky jobs. He does the Charlie work. And in this case, it could be murdering somebody. It could be stealing a baby. It could be, it could be
getting paint for everyone to huff.
Right. It could be getting paint. It could be getting cats out of walls. That's the kind of stuff that that my gang's gonna need help with. And Charlie Kelly is the perfect wild card to my team here.
Once again, a hilarious crew you got.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I think that I got a pretty solid crew, and I'm kind of surprised TV's Greatest Minds hasn't already tried to put my gang together on screen at one time.
I just keep picturing Tony interacting with like every character when he figures out like Charlie can't read.
That's why he's got. That's why he's got him getting cats out of the
Yeah.
wall, stealing babies.
I was getting cats out of the wall. You what?
He's
Yeah.
going like this. You stupid motherfucker! Why are you getting cats in the walls?
I was putting a cat in the wall to get another one out.
There'd be no logic there. Tony would cap all these people except for maybe Smithers because Smithers is just his undying loyalty. Maybe Arthur. No, Arthur would work. As long as Tony wouldn't have to like interact with Skinny Pete and Badger on like a day-to-day basis, I think they'd work. Charlie Kelly would probably get capped. If I'm being completely honest. Maybe I should just go with Braun. I don't know.
No, I like
no,
the
I
Charlie
like
move.
Charlie Kelly though. I had to go
This
with
has the
Charlie
makings
Kelly.
of a very good dark comedy that you got going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we ran through our lists.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my team.
So am I. You
I went the drama
you
route.
went the drama route.
Yeah.
You went you had gangsters. You had these shows where organized crime is like the name of the game. And you went probably the more traditional route that you put together a solid, cool gang that will actually like get shit done and be respected. I don't know whether or not my crew will be respected. They'll be feared, but I don't know if they'll be respected. We'll see. I don't know. But does that wrap it up for this week?
I'd love watching your crew at the Bing though. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like,
But-
I think like, yeah, you'd want maybe Smithers like sees it all as like a Simpsons world, but everybody else is in like the real world, and they're all at the Bing,
Exactly.
throwing some dollar bills down.
Is that wrapping up episode 2? Right?
3, but second
two. Yeah.
full length episode of Binging and Bickering. Thank you everybody for watching and listening. Please, as we said at the beginning of the episode, like, subscribe, comment if you're on YouTube, if you're listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, rate and subscribe and leave a review. And in that review, tell us what your top 5 or your gangster dream team starting 5 would be, and then in the YouTube comments as well. And because we want to hear it, because this could clearly go in so many different routes as mine and Mike's did. And we'd love to hear your guys' feedback and comments. This is a topic that I think could go a lot of routes. So could be interesting hearing from people.
Absolutely. I'm sure we forgot a ton of people.
That's
So
for them to
That's for
decide.
them. That's for
These
them.
are our lists. If you hate them, let us know. If you love them, let us know. And we also want to hear yours. So thank you guys again for watching. And until next week, we'll see you later. Keep watching movies and
All that
shows,
shit.
and keep reading character theory as well. You got to throw that website.
Yeah.
in
We'll
there.
provide the links below if you
Yeah,
like
the links
our
will be
shit.
there. Yeah,
If not, pound sand like we've said before.
right.
All right. This is too long. We'll see
Yeah,
you guys
all right.
later.
Bye.